A picture is worth 1,000 words, so goes an adage, to mean, among other things, that multiple ideas can be conveyed by a single still image. This image, tweeted on March 26, 2020, by the Uganda Media Center Executive Director Ofono Pondo, barely after Uganda reported its first case of the novel COVID-19 days earlier, elicited consternation on social media. The government had swiftly moved into action to impose wide-ranging restrictions, including banning crowding in places of work and others, which came to be known as social distancing. In the picture, then Minister Judith Nabakoba and her junior Peter Ogwang are seen seated at the yard alongside other officials in a discussion. The reactions from the public cast doubt on the competencies of those meant to shepherd the country's digital revolution. The COVID-19 pandemic led to a surge in the use of digital technologies to minimize human contact but maintain interactions as countries dealt with nationwide lockdowns. Not so was in Uganda. Perhaps the public awaited a rollout of an integrated system which could address simple tasks such as conducting a meeting virtually. 16 years ago, in the run-up to the CHOGA meeting in Kampala in 2007, the government conceived a plan for an ambitious fiber cable, initially to facilitate the conference, but later to change the way government agencies work, mainly going online, interlink all government operations on a single network to reduce administration costs and promote operational efficiency. All ministries, departments and agencies, according to the plan, were supposed to be connected onto the e-government network that allows services like internet access, video conferencing, data exchange, among others. For instance, along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, which houses the Foreign Affairs Ministry, Auditor General's office, the Finance Ministry and the President's office, there would be no need for one to physically deliver a document which could be shared online. 16 years later, this much vaunted program remains a pipe dream. Perhaps what is left of years of investment are large unused screens which are gathering dust inside the boardrooms of ministries. They were meant to facilitate video conferencing. The fiber network, known as the National Backbone Infrastructure and e-government, cost a whopping 300 billion shillings, a loan acquired from China's Exim Bank. The 24-core 2.5 GB fiber cable with potential for upgrade to 10 GB was conceived to lower costs of internet connectivity for government. The connectivity would later be extended to hospitals to facilitate e-health, e-education in tertiary institutions and public schools to support e-learning, business process outsourcing, and later serve as a launchpad for several interlinked IT solutions across government. Rolled out in 3 phases since 2009 and 2020, when President Museveni launched a third phase while on a campaign trail in Moroto, the fiber network extends across all pockets of the country, its efficiency notwithstanding. Many government ministries and agencies probably have the worst internet speeds, which some use to justify budgeting millions of shillings to acquire fast internet from private service providers, while others use it to justify the inefficiency in other areas. Coupled with the reluctance of the end users in government to adopt this method, mismanagement of critical infrastructure, this digital revolution remains largely a white elephant. With the government lagging behind, it also partly explains why the country scores poorly on different global ICT indices owing to several factors, including poor network infrastructure and high cost of data. The National Infrastructure Technology Authority, NITA, the statutory body supposed to manage the fiber network and coordinate IT activities and services across government, declined to comment on this story when contacted. Amina Zawede, the Ministry of ICT's permanent secretary, in an email to NTV, said government is getting value for money on the fiber network. She said, there has been an increase in the use of shared services which government had already invested in. NBI data centers applications hosted more than tripled during the lockdown. This increased uptake or rollout of e-government services to allow government to make proper use of its investments, value for money, take advantage of economies of scale, hence bringing the cost of internet down. Increased automation should be viewed as a good thing. End quote. However, the duplicity by ministries and government agencies to set up their own ICT infrastructure is costing taxpayers billions of shillings. The Auditor General, John Mwanga's report submitted to Parliament last month has raised a red flag about wasteful expenditure by ministries and agencies. For instance, the government is using a 75 million US dollars or 263 billion Uganda shillings World Bank loan from the Regional Communications Infrastructure Program RCIP to complement existing ICT initiatives including the NBI and private sector under its fifth phase, invested in the e-government procurement system and contracted a foreign firm at the cost of 1.3 million US dollars, an equivalent of 4.5 billion Uganda shillings. But in June 2020, the government decommissioned the same system, citing escalation of project costs due to change requests to the vendor, resulting from insufficient user requirements definition during procurement. The e-government procurement system has since been replaced by a locally developed solution for which 2.4 billion shillings was paid at the time of the audit out of the total contract of 4.5 billion Uganda shillings. Relatedly, another 729 million shillings was paid to an independent quality assurance audit firm to provide quality assurance in the development of the e-government procurement system. The Uganda Land Commission was involved in developing user and system requirements and signed off the Uganda National Lands Information System as the solution that meets their business needs. However, Uganda Land Commission does not utilize the system to execute its mandate and is in the process of acquiring a duplicate land management system for which 500 million Uganda shillings has so far been committed.
So the Honorable Chief Justice is logging into the system.
The Justice, Law and Order Sector, Office of Directorate of Public Prosecution, Police, Judiciary and Prisons blew 36 billion Uganda shillings on 4 parallel systems which stand alone and not integrated, something according to the report defeats any understanding. The Justice, Law and Order Sector institutions require quick access to accurate and reliable information in order to function well and quickly turn the wheels of the criminal justice system. The lack of such efficiency through an interlinked computerized system explains the enormous case backlog in courts, prison congestion, and manifest delays in the dispensation of justice. The continued rolling out of standalone systems has also been accompanied by establishment of private data centers, yet government invested in the National Cloud Data Center managed by NITA, which was launched by President Museveni. The taxpayer must also fork out huge sums of money to maintain dual power lines and steady internet. While the agencies justified the spending on these software systems, people familiar with the matter say building customized systems is lucrative business and a bottomless pit. Building a customized system costs upward 2 billion shillings, throw in the maintenance fees that range from millions to billions.